butter crusted pancakes. This is what I consider top tier, top shelf pancakes. I used to be a broke single person, and I would go hang out with friends or go to a club, roll in at midnight, and I would make these. I would just use the Just Add water boxed pancake mix and make some of the best pancakes at midnight. And all it is just adding butter to a pan, cooking the pancakes until you get these crispy edges. Recently, I was watching a video, and in this video, it was just a little snippet.
And asked specifically for our pancakes. Lucio is in charge of the pancakes.
Básicamente como 20 pancakes.
Pancake sales here, they're incredible. Could be some days about 1,000 pancakes.
And their like top selling menu item was their pancakes. And in the comment section, people would go back and forth. Oh no, I like soft and fluffy. Oh no, I like them flatter. You had people saying that they love the crispy edges when you cook it in butter. And I agree. I love textures. I love crispy textures. Look, I have not met a pancake that I didn't like. That's it. But if I had to be specific on the one that I just crave, it's these. Butter crusted pancakes. Whether you make them from scratch, from the box mix, I'll get you there. And look, I'm not trying to be Grimes, trying to explain to you something that has already been invented, making it like I discovered it, like her butter toast.
Lately I've been waking up and I make this thing called butter toast, which is where I melt like a stick of butter on a plate, and then I like put toast in and then turn the toast over, and it's actually incredible. Like this butter technique is, yeah, it's great.
I'm just coining it butter crusted pancakes because I just wanted to get that little crispy crusty like term in there to distinguish the type of pancake that I love. The crispy crusty edges are just, chef's kiss. Homemade pancake batter, super easy. 1 cup of self-rising flour. To that I'm gonna add like a half teaspoon of salt. I'm eyeballing. Here I'm gonna add a 1/4 cup of sugar, and I'm just gonna give that a mix. You can mix all the wet ingredients together, but I'm not. I'm just gonna start adding milk, like a cup, 3/4 of a cup. Here I have 1 large egg going in. I'm also gonna add 2 tablespoons of melted butter, a half teaspoon of vanilla extract, and just give that a mix. And it doesn't have to be smooth and creamy. You don't want to overwork your pancake batter. It can be lumpy. It works fine. And you want to add milk little by little until you get the consistency that you prefer your pancake batter to be. You want it thicker, add less milk. I kind of like thinner, not super flat pancakes, but somewhere in between. But this works. Okay, butter crusted pancakes. You're going to need a stick of butter. And if you just want to cut a little bit of butter and just add it to the griddle, I'm just showing you at midnight how I would just do things. Throw it in a bowl, just add water pancake batter, and just do this with a stick of butter. Even if you have margarine, like, I'm not judging you. Use what you've got. And now just scoop on your pancake batter. Honestly, this is kind of fancy because, like I said, in my single days when I was just, trying to live and make it, I just would pour it in there. And then you give it a flip. And look at that. The crusty, crispy edges. You want to add more butter? Look, again, no judgment here. And you just keep cooking it till you get the little crispy edges. And this is perfect. I'm going to get more butter on it. That's why I'm flipping it. But this is it. And you just keep going until you make however many pancakes you feel like making. So I'm just going to let you watch the rest of the video. I'm just going to continue making pancakes and, just enjoy the sizzle and the metal scraping on the griddle, and definitely the sizzle of the melting butter. It's the best. Okay, I probably need to turn this griddle down because it's burning, but this one, yep, this one is perfect. Oh, and I failed to mention, you'll know when it's time to flip your pancake when you see all of those little air bubbles. When you see all of that, that lets you know it's time to turn. Okay. I've got a stack on a plate. Look at these crispy edges, and these are butter crusted pancakes. And some syrup, maple, the cheap stuff. Again, this is a judge-free zone. Do what you will, do what you prefer. And there's enough butter on these pancakes, I don't need any. I got my pancakes, and it's got You can't hear it because it's kind of been sitting here. I was filming. But if you're making these for yourself and you eat it like fresh and hot, you get these crispy edges. That's it. Mmm. Mm-hmm. Mmm. The crispy crunch is the best. So check out these other pancake recipes you might like. Today I'm making soufflé pancakes. These are pancakes taken to the next level. They are airy, light, fluffy, and delicious. Okay, so the first part of this batter, I'm going to be working with 4 room temperature yolks of 4 large eggs. So these are from large eggs, and I just separated the yolks from the whites. We'll get to the whites later. Right into my bowl. And you'll want to start. Now I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, adding 2 tablespoons of whole milk. There we go. You'll just want to combine and mix this well. Okay, so here I've combined roughly a half cup of cake flour. You could use all-purpose. And I actually weighed this, so it's 65 grams of cake flour. But it's a loosely packed half cup of flour. 1 teaspoon of baking powder and 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. And I'm just going to sift that into my mixture and just kind of start whisking as you do that. Get some of that up there. Okay, so this is completely combined. So I used the 4 egg whites from the 4 large eggs, but I also added 1 extra egg white. And I added it to this measuring cup. So for those of you that have like liquid egg whites or in the carton, I have about 3, let's see. It's 3/4 of a cup of egg whites, but basically it's 5 large egg whites from, large eggs. So it's going into a very clean bowl. That's another thing. To get these whipped up nice and fluffy to stiff peaks, you want to work preferably with a very clean glass bowl. Even a chilled glass bowl works better. I didn't have time to do that. But if you're working with a plastic mixing bowl that's greasy, you might have a hard time doing this. And you could do this by hand, but I'm gonna use my electric mixer to save some, elbow grease. So I'm gonna add my whites right into my bowl. I'm going to add my sugar. I'll mix it in. I'll do like half and then mix. Now the cream of tartar. Okay, yeah. So those are creating peaks. So I'm going to take just a little bit of my batter and kind of work it in there, fold it. Basically, you could do this in thirds if you like. But the key here is not to vigorously mix it because then you'll deflate everything. You want to fold, just kind of scrape and fold. This does take time. Okay, so here is my fluffy batter. Look at that. So it's well oiled. I wiped out any residual oil. So now I'm going to use the largest scoop that I have, is scoop out the dough and right there. For high, just kind of give it another little half scoop on top. Okay, so it's been a minute, and if you have to adjust your heat, if you feel like it's cooking too fast, okay. So what I'm going to do is just basically dip my fingers in some cold water, and on the parts that don't have a pancake on it, just kind of sprinkle it. Now we're going to cover it. Just like that, carefully. This lid actually doesn't fit. Okay, and I'm going to continue cooking it on that side on a low heat for another 30 to 45 seconds. Okay, let's... Now the key here is not to flip it too soon. So honestly, it's been about 2 minutes, gently on a low heat. Okay, that came off easily, good sign. Ooh, yeah, that's beautiful. So I'm going to do the other one. Yes. Boom, there we go. And then now I'm going to cover it. And again, on a low heat. I'm going to let that cook for another 2 minutes. To show you, I actually did double scoops for each of these pancakes, and I'm going to show you the comparison here. Here's the first one that I made. It's still fluffy and light, but look how much rise I get when you actually, you know. So I would say if you really want that dramatic, fluffy souffle pancake, give it, you know, to give it more height, add more batter. Stick on me. Okay, that works. Ooh, yeah. Love it. So, I don't care if I'm double dipping. Sorry. This is so good. Today I'm going to jazz up my boxed pancake mix from the store to make rainbow pancakes. This is a great way to make breakfast fun. Anyways, breakfast is definitely going to be colorful, tasty, and fun. So first, I'm going to show you some of the things that I will be utilizing to color the pancakes. For example, fresh blueberries. That's a great way to get the colors purple just by blending it with some water. And I also have a natural food coloring. You could use whatever you have in your pantry because I also have other gel food colorings. And I'm going to use my blueberry puree and also utilize it for the color blue. I'm going to add just a little bit of food coloring to make the blue color pop. And those are 2 colors done. Another color that I'm going to be making is red. And for that, I'm using freeze-dried strawberries. I'm going to pulse those into a powder, and that's going to give me the color red. I may also use some of my food color just to intensify the red color. Now for the yellow and the orange, I am utilizing a natural food color, but again, it's something I had last year. Some of these are kind of dried, so I'm going to do the best I can. And for the green, I will also be using green tea. That is a great way to get green in your pancake without using food coloring. Okay, so at this point I've created all the colors. Some of them I mixed with water, some are dry, but now I'm just going to use my pantry item pancake mix. If you have items or ingredients to use for a homemade pancake batter, great, do that. I'm just going to follow the ratio of the instructions on the back of this box and do the best I can. With just add water pancake mix, I find that it's very forgiving. You kind of add water, you kind of add the mix, and just find the right consistency that works for you. So here I have my griddle preheating on a medium low to low heat. I've sprayed it with a little bit of avocado oil spray, wiped it down, and since it's preheated, I'm going to make my first pancake. I'm going for the purple one. Hopefully we get a good purple color out of this. Probably could get 2 small pancakes out of the amount I made. Okay. By the way, for those of you that always ask, my mom gave me this. This is for pancakes. It's a really oversized spatula, and I don't know where she got it. There we go. So my pancakes are done, and I just want to show you how colorful they look. You can serve this with whipped cream, pancake syrup and butter, maple syrup with fresh fruit on top. So many ways you can have your morning pancakes. So I hope you give these recipes a try. I hope you like them, and thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.